Unsane is a new Steven Soderbergh thriller film that stars Claire Foy as this woman Sawyer, who no matter where she goes, no matter what she's doing, she usually finds someone who seems to look like an old stalker of hers named David Strine. And she gets so concerned at this point that she goes to a therapist to try to talk out her issues, only to find out that this therapist has admitted her to the mental ward, and Claire Foy had no idea, but now she's accidentally gotten herself into this place. And while she's at this mental ward just trying to get out no matter what, prove that she's not crazy, she starts to see images of her stalker yet again, and you're never really sure if it's real or if it's not real. I was pretty excited to see this movie when it came out because Steven Soderbergh is a director who I really admire, and even his most recent film, Logan Lucky, I had a pretty good time with. Wanted to see what he could do with another thriller film since Logan Lucky was more of a comedy, see what he could do now that he's returning to the thriller genre. And the big gimmick of this film is the fact that it's filmed on an iPhone. So, of course, people are probably going to ask first, like, how was the iPhone footage? Like, did it look good? As a movie, did it work? And I'd say, yeah, for the most part, you don't really get distracted that much. There are a few iPhone moments where, like, the screen will kind of jitter for a bit, like along the edges, and the framing is always looking like an iPhone, and the quality definitely looks like an iPhone. So of course you're never really fully forgetting the idea of, okay, I'm not watching a movie filmed on an iPhone. This film's like a real camera. Like, and you never really forget that you're watching something on the iPhone. But at the same time, I really dug the style of the iPhone filmmaking because it adds a little bit more of a personal touch to it. The camera gets into some positions that feel really personal and really close up. And since this movie is about a stalker getting maybe a little bit too close and a little too personal, I think the filmmaking style actually adds a lot more to the creepiness of this whole thing, and I really do like it at the end of the day, though there are those things that will remind you constantly it's an iPhone. It's still shot well enough by Soderbergh, and there's still the advancements in post, like the lighting and the sound, like obviously aren't all iPhone quality. There's stuff that's umped for in post-production. But for a film that's made on an iPhone, I think it's very well made by Soderbergh. But what really makes this movie work for me, besides the great filmmaking from Soderbergh, is the main actress, Claire Foy, playing Sawyer, who is very good here. There are a few minutes, if I had to gripe a little bit, there are a few moments where you can hear the British accent kind of slip, and she's always doing a southern accent, so you can really hear it when she starts to sound a little bit more British. So there's a few moments like that kind of took me out, but for the most part, Claire Foy was brilliant in this film. I really dug her as the character of Sawyer, not just because you can't always tell if she's sane or insane at this moment, but also because from the opening of the film, you really do get a feel for what her life is like now that she has this anxiety of her stalker. Like, she's going to work and maybe seeing him, she's going on a date, like, through Tinder, and then there's also this moment where, wait, are you my stalker? Like, what are you doing? And she can't really live a full, complete life always seeing David Strine around. So as the film progresses, you have that opening that makes you really feel for her, so when these situations start to go down at this mental ward later, you're like, oh dang, I really feel for this character and I want her to be okay. When she's getting admitted into the mental ward at first and the workers are just acting so normal, and she's kind of starting to like question like, okay, what's going on, then starts to freak out, but they're still acting really normal, and she asks for the phone call and the nurse is like, I know exactly what you're planning on doing, like, don't even try. That also kind of adds to a lot of the paranoia that she has. Like, you guys are acting so normal as if like you're dealing with another crazy person, but I'm not crazy, or am I? So I really got to commend the actors who worked at this hospital as well, because they really did a good job of selling you on just these normal average workers who are used to everything these guys do. Jay Farrell also plays a character in the mental ward named Nate, who he and Sawyer get a little close to because he's not insane like a lot of the other people in there. Like, he's a very normal average person. So you see those two kind of get together and talk, and seeing their relationship progress was actually pretty fun. Jay Farrell is a great actor. Like, he's done a lot of SNL stuff, but in this movie more comedy but also some drama, and I think he really pulled it off. Great guy in this movie though, Joshua Leonard, who plays David Strine, who Sawyer is always seeing as the stalker. However, like I said earlier, even though Claire Foy is seeing him and is saying that's David Strine, that's the stalker, you're never really quite sure, like, are you telling the truth? Is this because this guy just seems like an average dude? And without spoiling anything, I'd say Joshua Leonard did a fantastic job playing this character. I think he nailed it, and what surprised me the most is that he was a guy in the Blair Witch Project. I didn't know that, and that's a movie that, sorry, but I really hate the Blair Witch Project, and I kind of hate everyone in that, so seeing him do this kind of role was actually very surprising, and I think he kind of nailed it. Like, it's a great performance. And even Juno Temple as the character of Violet, who is this really insane chick here, who has a couple interactions with the main character. She is crazy, and the fact that it's Juno Temple playing her, like, she completely disappears into the role. Maybe it's because of the whacked up hair and the crazy teeth and laugh that she has, but she really disappears into this role, and I think she was fantastic overall. If I had to have another gripe with this movie, though, is that I feel like they could have done a little bit more with the other mental patients. As much as I love Juno Temple's character and how she interacts with the main character, I think there could have been more to do at this mental ward. I think they could have fleshed out some of the other patients. Maybe they could have added another layer of conflict or something like that. I feel like there's still some potential with the whole mental ward setting that maybe wasn't as tapped into as they wanted. Overall, though, I think the script and the story overall is fantastic. Starting off really normal, then you have the transition into the mental ward, and you're feeling for your main character and seeing how the film progresses from there, and subverting what you think may happen from then on, I think is really great, and it's a really great screenplay. But I think a lot of the other characters at this setting could have been fleshed out a bit more, kind of get you more submersed into this world, get you more in fear knowing that everyone could have a problem with Sawyer at any second. Because a lot of times you're kind of just looking at these other mental patients and you're thinking they're more extras, and I think they should have been more character driven. Just a few more character writing for these guys here and there so that there's a little bit more conflict to the script, I think. Overall, though, I had a really great time with this movie. It's not like a vile or sick or dark movie or anything. Like, you see her in a mental ward, but it doesn't go extremely dark, so it creates this mood where you're always in suspense and you're always questioning what's going on. But it's a very fascinating watch, to say the least. The acting is all really fantastic. The screenwriting is very good. Directing is very good. You never forget that you're watching an iPhone movie, but it's still a very well executed iPhone movie. Steven Soderbergh, I think, did a really good job directing this. The ending shot is kind of hilarious. I think the intention was to have it be more dramatic, I think, but I was just kind of laughing, and it's literally like an end shot, freeze frame, zoom in, credits start to roll, and I don't know if they were trying to be like more dramatic with that, or if they were going for a laugh. I don't think they'd go for a laugh with that, though. So there are a few issues here and there that I had with this film, but I really did enjoy this, and it's a film that I really do want to watch again to see if it improves on a second viewing or anything. It's quite a fascinating watch. I'm gonna give Unsane a B+. The acting is great, Claire Foy is magnificent, Steven Soderbergh does a really good job directing, and I'd say that this is a better film than Logan Lucky. I gave that one a B, and I give this one a B+. I think Unsane is a much more fascinating film to watch, and nothing to diss Logan Lucky or anything, but Unsane is a really good movie, and it shows that Steven Soderbergh, he started off with his comeback with a B, now worked up to a B+ for me. I'm wondering if his next film can maybe get into the A territory, at least I hope so. But if you've seen Unsane, leave in the comments below what you thought of it, and as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.